So when I think about the Hindu identity, I think that it encompasses the slogan or the phrase that we hear all the time, which is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and to incorporate a global viewpoint. Because, you know, if we live as, I would think that, you know, in a small niche, and that limit, you know, that you were saying, I think that we have to define that limit well, and not say that, you know, we're too small, but not to say that we're too big either. But we do live in a global community, and what aspects or values are across all communities that we all respect, right? Which is compassion, which is, you know, mutual respect, and yeah, the other person may, you know, a person across from you may not be that way, but how do we learn? We learn from looking at other people sometimes. We learn from others' actions. We learn from experience. So if we encompass that I would say, perspective, then of mutual respect, of mutual compassion, of mutual understanding of others, and accepting others' thoughts, not necessarily adopting them, but accepting them. And that, if you go with that, you know, I don't think that you can really go wrong with that. So that's my perspective.
So a key point is mutuality of respect is very important dharmic element. I do want to comment on the whole world is a family by pointing out that a family does not make them all identical. You can have a family where a bunch of good guys, bad guys, all in family. Some are more knowledgeable, some are less evolved. So when you say the whole world is a family, by itself that statement does not mean we are the same. We are a family, which means we all live together, we have to transact with each other, deal with each other. But there is, like in a family, there's some more senior people, junior people, there's some person who needs help, who's handicapped, somebody's the head of other, some guy's a crook, some guy's a noble person, they're all part of a family. So the fact that the world is a family does not really translate into anything more than the fact that we all have to coexist with each other. It did not say that we are identical clones, it said we are a family. So there's a difference between identical clones and a family. So that's an important point. But still the point he made is a very good point, that one of the positive things we can say in the box called, in the thing called Dharma, is mutual respect for all people, for each other. But I really like that he added the word mutual, because I'm going to come to that and make a case that this mutuality has to be reciprocal. This mutuality has to be reciprocal. And just so I warn you where I'm headed, because then you all can talk and you know in advance where I'm headed, I'll give you, maybe put my cards on the table. I'm headed that mutuality has to be a necessary condition before I include the other person. And here's the reason I'm going to give you. In the body, there's a wide diversity of cells, many kinds of cells in the body. But the cancerous cell does not respect the others in the way they all respect each other. The organic, normal, healthy cells respect each other. But the cancerous cell is a predator, which says that I do not respect your integrity. It's not an exchange of between diverse cells that we are trading things and molecules and so on with each other, because I'm going to actually prey on you, and my goal is to convert you to become an identical cancerous cell like me and keep expanding my turf. So the cancerous cell is not believing in mutual respect, okay? And the cancerous cell is that which therefore has a prey. It wants to prey on the cell that believes in all the world is nice family and we all live with each other. And it gives the normal healthy cells, gives falsely, foolishly, mutuality, gives a respect and acceptance to the cancerous cell, and the cancerous cell does not respond in return. So what happens is this cancerous cell is very stupid, because at the end, it keeps, by going on expanding itself, it shrinks its own habitat, because it actually needs nutrients from the healthy cell. The cancerous cell is not self-sufficient. The cancerous cell, like a predator, is not self-sufficient. It needs to eat its prey, and the prey is the healthy cell. It needs to keep expanding once it's metastasized. Okay? That's what a cancer cell is. It needs to keep going on expanding. And as the cancerous cell continues its agenda of expanding, its habitat keeps shrinking. So what happens is the patient dies in the end. And what happens to the cancer cell when the patient dies? The cancer dies. Because when the no more prey is left, the predators also go extinct. So there's a stupid system of that kind. So therefore, if you say, we respect everybody, including the cancerous cell, well, he's going to get you and finish you off, and then after he's finished you off, he'll have nobody else to finish, and they'll all go after each other in a dog-eat-dog world, which is where we might be headed. And that's not a good thing. So you have to, while remaining sattvic and dharmic and non-violent and ahimsa, you have to find a way to get inside the cancerous cell, infiltrate the guy, and somehow turn him around. You have to do that and not just accept him the way he is doing his thing. That's where my position is, and I want to put it on the table, and I'll be arguing.
Many of you follow the news out there, but the Pew Foundation, some of you may have heard of the Pew Foundation. That, I don't know, why is it with me? I promise you that I am a human being. The Pew Foundation recently released a report on religion in the public limelight. They have a detailed report. 87% of Hindus were found to retain their religion from one generation to the next, according to this study. That's the highest of any religious group that was surveyed. So that's a good sign for us, but that means we've just started. You know, we're a recent community in this country, so hopefully we can keep it at that level moving forward. Second point, according to, you know, Hindus believe in the philosophy of pluralism, pluralistic nation, and we hope we can all not only live together, but respect each other, as Rajdeep was saying. Hindus, again, highest level of understanding and tolerance and pluralistic approach to other faiths, 92%. Keep in mind that other major faiths, if you look at from business model as our competitors, are at least a third below that, about 60%. So that means about a third to 40% of those don't believe that other faiths, such as Hindus, should have that same right. So I think the example that Rajiv gave with respect to the cancerous cells, if you apply that practically speaking, I think you know what we're getting at, is that that's the reason we need to have a pride in our identity. Doesn't mean that we have to be crazy about it and be foolish.
We should not become the cancer.
We shouldn't become the cancer, but we cannot be naive to let the cancer take us over, because it is out there.
So a dharmic strategy could be, you keep your healthy body so nutritious, so strong, that you resist the cancer. You don't become the cancer and become violent to zap him with chemotherapy or radiation therapy or something like that. You don't turn violent on them. But the reason for identity as a healthy cell is so that we understand we are not the cancer, and we understand the cancer is out to get us, and we have to be strong enough to withstand that without turning into a cancer ourselves. So we should ask, as part of that clause, we should always ask, in our identity, we should always ask that all methods, all ways of conceptualizing the divine and the Supreme Being are allowed to be allowed. You cannot say that the divine and the Supreme Being are only male, and therefore the goddess is to be banned because angry God will come at you. So we have to insist that the whole world of possibilities of conceptualizing the divine that everybody has or will develop in the future have to be allowed as part of what our Dharma says. Secondly, we have to allow this business of we cannot access the divine through images because they have been banned. We don't accept that. We cannot accept that because it's not our way. Yeah, we don't buy into that interpretation. Maybe somebody else got a certain commandment, thou shalt and thou shalt not. But when God was saying thou shalt and thou shalt not, thou means you, not them. And he was talking to you as a certain tribe in the desert. You won't do this, you will do that. He didn't say you have to go and tell them not to do it and tell them not to do that. Thou is a second person, not a third person. So these are commandments to the people being addressed. And the people being addressed were not in South Asia. They were being addressed somewhere else. And he did not say, I've given you a franchise to go and tell them that. Okay, so you can argue that point. You can say the same divine came to us, to our rishis and our avatars, and gave us different instructions. So it's not my fault. I have to be a Hindu because that's what I've been told. And you have to be doing your thous and thous nots because that's what you were told. And so just like I wasn't given a franchise over you, you were not given a franchise over me. So this is how we have to be able to argue.